The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost, for none now live who remember it. It began with the forging of the great rings. 3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest and fairest of all beings. 7 to the dwarf lords, great miners and craftsmen of the mountain halls. And 9 rings were gifted to the race of men, who above all else desire power. For within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race. But they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others. And into this ring he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. 1 ring to rule them all. One by one, free lands of Middle-earth fell to the power of the ring. But there were some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth. Victory was near. But the power of the ring could not be undone. It was in this moment, when all hope had faded, that Isildur, son of the king, took up his father's sword. Sauron, the enemy of the free peoples of Middle-earth, was defeated.
Have you ever been to sea and been told reluctantly that if you have one more drink, we're all liable to sink? If you have all I can say is have a happy holiday, and don't come back without a tan, especially from a far-off land.
Huh?
Oh, hello, Red. Well, you're up late.
What are you listening to?
Oh, Vivaldi, Il Cemento dell'Armonia. I particularly like the last
Hey, what's that?
Oh, it's just a remote. Oh, this. Yes,
Popular love songs? Oh, Hey, you fell for the princess. She's like me, creature from another world.
You need to get out more.
She's alone in the world. I want to help her. I need to care for her.
You're in love. Have a beer.
Oh, my body's a temple.
Well, now it's an amusement park.
No. The glandular balance.
Just shut up and drink it, would you? What track?
8.
Can't smile without you.
I know.
Yep, I'm gonna need a beer too.
Well, see, I love this song. And I can't smile. Or cry. I think I have no tear ducts.
I wish Father were here. He'd know what to tell you. Us?
Can't smile without you. I can't laugh and I can't sing. I'm finding it hard to do anything. You see, I feel sad when you're sad. I feel glad when you're glad. If you only knew what I'm going through. I just can't smile without you. You came along just like a song and brightened my day. Who'd have believed that you were part of a dream?
Former Congressman Matt Gaetz says he was briefed on a secret alien breeding program while in office.
Gaetz, who was President Trump's initial pick to become Attorney General, sat down with podcaster Benny Johnson on Tuesday. Let's listen.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication.
She's pure as New York snow. She got Betty Davis eyes. And she'll tease you, she'll unease you. All the better just to please you. She's precocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She got Greta Garbo, stand offside. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
Whoa. Gaetz added that humans who were involved were allegedly abducted from war zones. He said, quote, what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones from even the caravans of migrants.
Gaetz also confirmed that the U.S. military is in possession of alien technology. I'm not sure I would use the word confirmed. Has reverse engineered that technology as well. Wow. Congressman Tim Burchett gave an interview of his own yesterday, responding to Gaetz' suggestions on aliens. Let's watch.
If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. It would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued. I think if they would have heard all that I heard, they would demand answers.
Welcome back to the channel. This is BTE TV, and I am Tony Jackson. In this presentation, we are going to be discussing various events concerning the spiritual battle taking place in front of our very eyes. And we will also connect this all back to one of the most bizarre and mysterious events in history, which I believe was the kickoff for Satan's little season. Now, I want to give you a quick overview of what you are about to watch. First of all, our government is openly discussing fallen angels and Nephilim living among us. They are terraforming the earth to allow these entities to exist here permanently. The elites of this world think they are going to escape the lake of fire by transforming themselves into transhuman cyborg-like beings that live forever. And although it may seem like these things are not related, believe me, they are all connected in some way. Also, I accidentally stumbled upon a movie I had seen many years ago called Reign of Fire with Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale. And as I was watching it, I became aware that this movie was also predictive programming us and was telling us the truth about the little season and how Satan was released from his prison and how the events that followed were horrifying and tragic. And I believe there were real dragons that were released from the abyss with him. Now, this is just a theory, but based on the historical accounts of dragon sightings that seem to be very prevalent in the late 1700s and all throughout the 1800s, and after watching this movie, Reign of Fire, and Reign is spelled R-E-I-G-N, interestingly, I feel that there is enough evidence here to at least present this. Now, aside from the release of dragons with Satan at the beginning of the little season, we also have quite a few major events that happened in the 1700s all over the world, but especially here in New England, which I believe was the epicenter of Satan's control center, specifically New York, hence the Statue of Liberty, or more accurately, the Statue of Lucifer. Now, let's start by going through this list of all these strange events that occurred starting in the 1700s, which I believe was the beginning of Satan's little season or the end of the millennial kingdom, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, I'm going to read a list of some of the strange events that happened in the 1700s. Some of them, I don't know if I would actually say they were that strange, but definitely worth noting. I'm going to start with just the events that happened in New England, and then I will read the ones that happened all over the world globally. I don't think, from what I'm seeing now, I don't think that there was a clear cutoff between the end of the millennial kingdom and the beginning of the little season. I think there was almost like a transition where evil started creeping back into the world. And to quote the Lord of the Rings, J.R. Tolkien, it says something about evil creeping back into the world. And I think that's kind of what happened as Jesus and the saints were kind of, wrapping up, getting the camp ready. I think, things started happening, more supernatural events, evil people started to come back out of hiding. So again, just my opinion, I don't know, but based on what I'm seeing, there's no clear point where one day everything was great, Jesus was in charge, and then the next day everything went, got flushed down the toilet. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a slow transition. Okay, I'm just going to read this. I copied this all from the internet, put it on a list, and that's what I'm reading off of. I'm just going to read it as it is. The 1700s in New England were marked by a series of strange and extraordinary events that captivated the region's residents and historians alike. These events often included supernatural occurrences, natural disasters, and other phenomena that challenged the natural laws and beliefs of the time. Here are some notable examples. In 1692, we have the Salem witch trials. in Salem, Massachusetts. We've all heard of the Salem witch trials, right? Became the center of a witch hunt that led to the execution of 16 witches. This is still being studied today for the historical significance. Were they real witches? You know, now we know how skewed history is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was not just a witch hunt, but these were actual witches that were causing problems for the Puritans. And we have the Great Snow of 1717. For 11 days in February and March 1717, New England was hit with 4 major snowstorms. The devastation struck some as a sign from God. And I looked into this further, and Reverend Cotton Mather himself reported the snow drifts being as high as 16 feet. This was a devastating snowstorm. People died. Single-story houses were completely covered, and people were trapped inside. Can you imagine if that happened today? How, screwed we would all be. That was 1717. 1727, the Great Earthquake. On October 29th, 1727, a powerful earthquake struck northern New England, causing widespread fear and concern. The earthquake was felt from Maine to Connecticut, and it was interpreted by many as a sign of divine punishment. Now here's the big one. New England's dark day on May 19th, 1780, a combination of smoke from forest fires, thick fog, and cloud cover. Now they say from forest fires, but I think it was from dragon fire, or I think it was supernatural. So let's disregard the forest fires part. A thick fog and cloud cover caused significant darkening of the daytime sky over New England. This event was so unusual that candles were required from noon on, and it lasted until the middle of the next night. Now, I've heard that this lasted for 5 to 6 years. So, and there's not a lot on how long it lasted. This is the only place I really found where it mentioned it. But I've heard other sources say that this thing lasted, this dark day, where there was no sunlight, lasted for 5 years. These events, among others, contribute to the rich tapestry of New England's history. Okay. Now, I'm going to go over the strange events that happened all over the world. We have the Enlightenment period, where religion was translated from Latin to various languages so that all could read the word. Or, more correctly, they translated it so that they could confuse the heck out of everyone so that we don't know which translation is right, and that allowed them to mistranslate things or leave words out or translate things incorrectly just to hide certain, key points of the Bible. That's what I believe this was. They say there was a mini ice age that lasted from 1400 to 1850. Not sure what that's about. I'll have to look into that. In 1700, we have the Cascadia earthquake, magnitude 9 in the Pacific Northwest, caused by a tsunami that hit Japan. Sounds devastating. England and Scotland passes the Act of Union, creating the Kingdom of Great Britain, which we know is a crime syndicate or a den of reptilian vipers, aliens, hybrids. Who knows what they are, but they're not human. They're pure evil. And that was created in 1707. Mount Fuji in 1707 erupted in Japan. A famine in 1708 that lasted for 1 year kills 1/3 of East Prussia's population. And this was caused by Peter the Great, who is trying to control the peasants. Sounds familiar, like what they're about to do to us. Great Frost of 1709, the coldest winter in over 500 years. I wonder if they were controlling the weather even back then. New Orleans, 1718, founded by the French. Not sure what significance that has. New Orleans was founded by the French. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. New Orleans is like run by vampires, right? And there's a lot of history in France with the lead coffins they're finding, right? I wonder if there's some connection to vampires there. The pirate Blackbeard is killed in 1718 off North Carolina. Great Plague of Marsal, 1720, that lasted for 1 year, which was the bubonic plague, killed 100,000 people in France. Russia becomes a dominant power in 1721, which was Sweden, apparently. Drapier's letters start the Irish independent movement from England. That was in 1722. The Anglo-Spanish War started in 1727, lasted 2 years. The First Great Awakening happened in 1730, where religion comes to the masses. Or more correctly, where religion controlled the masses. And that happened between 730 and 1760. That's right in the middle of the beginning of the little season. Famine happened from 1738 to 1756 across Sahel. Half the population of Timbuktu died. And I don't know where Timbuktu is. It might be in Africa. Here we go. In 1738, Pope Clement XII prohibits Catholics from becoming Freemasons. More correctly, or I would say that this is really the last-ditch attempt of the Millennial Kingdom to protect the sanctity of the church and to prevent the church from being corrupted with Freemasons. Famine in 1740 lasted 1 year in Ireland, killed 10% of the population. In 1741, Pope Benedict the 14th, he issued the Immensa Pastorum Principis against slavery. A lot of good that did. There's more slavery now in the world than there ever was. Over 40 million slaves in the world today. Half of them are SEX slaves. Peak of the mini ice age, 1750. Interesting. French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763. North America, chapter of the 7-year war between France and England. 7 years war, 1756 to 63, fought among the European powers. It sounds like a lot of wars happening right before the little season kicked off. King George III becomes King of Britain in 1760. The Stamp Act introduced to the American colonies in 1765. A famine happened 1770 to 1771 that killed hundreds of thousands in the Czech Republic. A plague riot happened in 1771 in Moscow. The first water-powered mill was built in 1771 in Cromford, England by Richard Arkwright. East India Tea Company in 1773 starts operations to smuggle opium to China, to England's attempt to control the Chinese. Then we have the American Revolution happening in 1770 to 1783. This is probably something to do with the Freemasons trying to regain control against the saints. I don't know. Illuminati, founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. Free thinkers like the Freemasons, only they were, I think it means to say deists. And they were free of the confinement of Christianity. That's what Freemasons are. Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. Penned and sent to King George III. Okay, that was the beginning of Satan's little season. Los Angeles was founded in 1781 by the Spanish. The City of Angels, right? City of Fallen Angels, probably. Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, ends the American Revolution. Northwest Indian Wars happened between 1785 to 1795, was the United States against the Native Americans. The U.S. Constitution, drafted in 1787, written in Philadelphia. The Constitution was ratified in 1788. New Hampshire is the 9th state to ratify the Constitution, making it official. French Revolution happened in 1789. New York Stock Exchange founded in 1792. The largest yellow fever epidemic happened in 1793. In American history, kills 5,000 people in Philadelphia. First known black doctor in America to help cure fellow Americans. His name was Richard Allen. Jay's Treaty, 1794, between U.S. and Britain, gives the Great Lakes outpost to the U.S. and opens trade between the two countries. Pinckney's Treaty, 1795, between the United States and Spain, gives U.S. Mississippi territory. The first smallpox Jabiru, 1796, administered by Edward Jenner, starting the end of the 400,000 Europeans that died each year of the 1700s. Oh, yeah, sure. Irish Rebellion, 1798, failed to remove British rule in Ireland. Look at all these treaties that were started after 1776, right? You've got the Jay's Treaty, the Pinckney's Treaty, and then the first, jab happening. It sounds like they were really starting to form their evil coalition for the little season. Anyway, I think that's a lot of events, right, to happen in just, 100 years. That's a lot of big, huge, life-changing events. Not to mention all the crazy things that happened just in New England. The Salem witch trials, the earthquakes, that winter storm, and then the dark day where the sun was blacked out of the sky. And we'll get more into that in a bit here. Was this the exact moment in history when Satan was loosed from his prison? Or was this the exact moment that Satan achieved complete control over the minds of his disciples? On May 19th of 1780 in New England, something very strange happened. The sun became obscured by a sinister darkness that no light could penetrate. A darkness so complete that people reached for lanterns at noon. Candles flickered in schoolhouses. Shopkeepers shuttered their windows. In churches, congregants gathered to pray without being called. Chickens returned to their roosts. Cows lay down in their pastures. Frogs began their nighttime chorus, though the town clocks showed midday. Dogs whined, horses skittered on cobbled streets. Eyewitnesses from Massachusetts to New Hampshire spoke of a blindness that even fire could not undo. Candles barely cast shadows, hearths glowed but offered no clarity. One diarist in Connecticut wrote that he could not read scripture by candlelight, even with the page held inches from his face. A merchant in Concord described fine black ash drifting from the sky like snow, coating sleeves and water pails with oily residue. The air scratched the throat, dry, acid, sharp. It carried the scent of burnt leaves and something resinous. Children cried that their eyes stung. In some homes, women soaked cloth in well water and held it to their faces, convinced that something in the air was wrong. Rain barrels filled with reddish water, horses balked at it. Some farmers tipped it into ditches. People spoke of fire in the heavens. Some claimed to hear thunder from no storm. Others said the moon had vanished the night before. And this terrifying darkness lasted for over 30 hours. Was this the exact moment in history when Satan was loosed from his prison? Or was this the exact moment that Satan achieved complete control over the minds of his disciples? And Satan's little season of deception and the age of dragons had officially begun. All right, and now I'm going to play a series of videos which seem to reinforce the idea that, like at the beginning of this video, with our government officials talking about non-human entities and Nephilim and hybrid breeding programs, it does appear that, there is, no matter how you slice it, there's non-human entities walking amongst us. I don't know what they are. I think some of them are actually reptilians. They may be fallen angels. I don't know exactly, but they are here. So these videos I'm about to show you, some of them are reflecting that subject of the non-humans walking amongst us. And then also the terraforming of the planet with the chemtrail aerosol injections into our atmosphere. And these are just very interesting. And some of them, they're from Instagram, so they might appear a little unprofessional. But I have verified them. They do not appear to be AI. So let's check these out. All right, here we go.
New tonight, a McAllister mom is fighting for her life after a brutal animal attack, leaving her husband and 2 young daughters in a tough position.
Alicia Maxey was found severely injured Sunday morning. On top of that, her husband Wallace is on dialysis and waiting for a kidney transplant. Fox 23's Paige Orr joins us live in studio. Paige, you talked to the family and to investigators.
That's right, guys. Investigators originally thought that a dog was responsible, but the Pittsburgh County Sheriff's Office is now working with wildlife experts to identify the animal. As they search for answers, Alicia's family is struggling to stay afloat without their sole breadwinner and without a vehicle to get Wallace to his life-saving treatments.
In a remote yard in Blanco, Oklahoma, Alicia Maxey was ambushed before she could even reach the front door of a home where she was hoping to find work.
She heard a deep growl. She said she could remember this growl. And she turned to run back to the truck, and something just pounced on her and knocked her to the ground. And she says it was dog-like, is what she described, but she didn't say it was certainly a dog.
Alicia was airlifted to Ascension St. John in Tulsa with gruesome injuries to her face, arms, and legs. For her husband, Wallace, the first sight of his wife in the ICU was beyond anything he expected.
Whenever I first walked in here, I wasn't expecting to see this. I was thinking more of like a dog chewed up on her leg or bites on her arm or something. I wasn't expecting this. But when I first walked in and I seen her, I broke down and started crying.
I'm in too much pain to say anything right now.
While Alicia fights through her 4th surgery, Pittsburgh County Sheriff Frankie McClendon says the sheer scale of the attack has prompted a search for answers.
38 years, I've never been involved or seen anything to this extent as far as injuries caused by a wild animal. Our question now is what caused these injuries. We've got the Department of Wildlife. They have actually taken some of the evidence, some of the clothing that was ripped from her, and send it off to one of their labs to see what we can find out if there's any way to identify what type of animal.
The tragedy has left the couple's 6- and 7-year-old daughters in a hard spot. Wallace is currently on the list for a kidney, but since their only car was towed after the attack, he has no way to get to his dialysis appointments 2 hours away. Now, the family faces mounting costs for food and housing while supporting Alicia's recovery.
Alicia, she is a loving, caring person. If you ever needed help, it doesn't matter who you are, she will sit there and help you the best that she can.
Now the family is hoping the community will return that kindness through a GoFundMe set up to help the Maxeys out as Alicia recovers. Live in studio covering news that matters, Paige Orr, Fox 23.
If you're wondering why I included this video, it's because I don't believe this is an animal attack. Okay. I think honestly it was something, a cryptid, maybe a dog man, but this is highly unusual. And they always try to play these stories off like, oh, it was just a bear or a wolf, or this is not something, this is very unusual. And so anyway, I see a lot of these too. I could probably pull up a dozen stories just like this just in the last year, where they said one time they said the person was attacked by a deer, and obviously they never find the animal, right? They never have the proof of what did it, But this is very suspect to me. I do not believe it was just an animal. I think it's something more. And just pray for the victim and the family members of the victim.
You will not find this video anywhere on the internet. It has been completely wiped from every website. This video shows the only real proof of aliens ever seen. Let me play it for you, then I'll explain.
Starting tonight, Russia intends to pull back its military buildup threatening Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin insisting it's the U.S. that's trying to start war over Ukraine, but he's not ruling out a diplomatic solution.
You are looking at Linda Thomas Greenfield, who is an American diplomat who served as the 31st United States ambassador to the United Nations under President Joe Biden. So why the fuck does she have some sort of alien face? Why has NBC, Google, and YouTube taking it completely off of their sites? Is our government being run by some sort of shapeshifters?
You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first.
I've never had this happen before. And this is weird. I've never had this happen.
All right, y'all. So this woman does editing for a living. And what she sees when she edits this video of Erica Kirk is absolutely horrifying. I'm not sure what to make of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Check this out.
Pretty sure I'm going to regret this one, but before I get weird, I want to acknowledge the people that have said, please don't hold your mic, but attach it to your shirt. The challenge is I record pretty late at night most of the time, and I can't talk too loud. So just doing the best I have with what I got, but I'll be aware of not moving my hand around too much. I've done this for years, and this has never happened. Not once. Never, not once, never, ever, ever. We're talking hundreds of hours of editing, and it just so happens that it's with Erica Kirk. If you follow me, you know I edit videos all the time. That's what I do, and interject. I've never had this happen before, and this is weird. I've never had this happen. Scrolling back, and I do that every single time for every video, and I've never had this happen. Yeah, okay. I'm just kind of hoping somebody can explain this to me so I don't weird myself out, because... Did I mention this has never happened before? And if it is some weird technical thing, why now? Why after years and hundreds of hours of editing? Why now? Why her?
Did we just get our first official intel on these guys? Check this out.
I don't want to tell this fucking story. My neighbor insists that I do, so we went to Tractor Supply and we got some snake stopper. And we came back to the house and whatever. So I'm putting some around my house, he put some around his house, and then we just kind of out there talking shit, doing it together for real. Me being clumsy, accidentally got some of the shit on us. So he was like, man, hey, pretty boy, you ain't got time to go back in the house and take a shower. We got to go back and get some more stuff. So we went back, got some more stuff, got in line. And it was my neighbor, me, and this mixed-looking guy behind me. Kept sneezing. And his sneeze didn't sound like, it was like that. He kept on. And so my neighbor was like, man, yo, something weird going on with the guy behind. He sneezed again, and I turned around, like, this part of his face, coming from his nose across this way, turned scaly. His eye had a slit, but the slit wasn't up and down, it slipped sideways. The cashier see that shit, she runs to the back. We get our stuff, we go out. He came on outside. He was like, yo, fellas, please don't tell anybody about this. I'm just like y'all, man. I'm just trying to live here. I'm just trying to make a living like you. And I'm like, yo, we didn't see shit. We got the fuck on. And then my neighbor got in the car, was like, yo, bro, I done seen this guy somewhere before. I think he worked at the courthouse. And I'm like, somebody like that working at the fucking courthouse, man, you believe what we just fucking saw? Like, I done heard plenty of people say, like, hey, the stuff in the movies be true. That's how they get their true shit out. But that scene in Man in Black when Tommy Lee Jones was telling Will Smith, oh, some of them just trying to make a decent living. Will Smith was like, let me guess, cab drivers or something like that. And he was like, not many of them.
Let me be the first one to say that I never believed in these guys. I thought it was really insane. Until I found something. Early in the process of discovering what is now called the sandcastle culture, I discovered this. It's kind of hard to make out at first, but it's just a side profile of some kind of face. You can see an eye and what appears to be like a smashed nose, but there's almost a shield. on the forehead. I didn't know what it meant, and really, a lot of time went by before I ever had any idea. But then, scrolling Instagram, and I see this photo. And what stood out to me, immediately, let me be honest, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, stupid. But I noticed that shield shape on his forehead. And if I've ever seen a picture that would be convincing, it would be this one. It's a pretty damn convincing photo. It looks real. But that shield shape on his forehead, that seemed to match a carving in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, well, that's a pretty fantastic coincidence. Since that discovery, a lot more revelations have come. And it's clear that there was a world culture, really twice. And it seems that who is responsible, well, I guess it's these guys. As much as I hate it, and as much as it disgusts me, and I don't want it to be true, the more time goes on, it seems to be the only answer. So, if I ever had to have some intel on some adversarial forces, it would definitely be the repellent. Snake repellent, who would have thought?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Sometimes they just malfunction.
So there you go. These are just a few. I mean, you can find hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of people filming all kinds of any number of hybrid cryptids, reptilians, and I know probably the majority of them are probably AI. But when there's a backstory to them, when there's eyewitnesses involved, and I've seen them myself. I have filmed things like this when I was doing my Bigfoot research and my older videos, which the videos themselves are pretty poor editing quality, but I do have pictures of the cryptids that I captured on video at the beginning of every video. And so I've seen things just like these, like in these last few videos we've watched, in the woods. So, and I just feel like these types of things are becoming more common, and I believe the veil is lifting, and I believe that these things are coming through some type of a portal. The abyss has opened. I don't know. CERN has brought these things in from the other side. I don't know, but anyway, I just wanted to share those with you because I thought they were very interesting. All right, now we're going to discuss my favorite subject of all time. I get so excited about this, and that is the chemtrails. Okay, here we go.
Okay, you guys, it is commercial airliners doing this. It's called hiding in plain sight. They're using decommissioned commercial planes with liveries and tail numbers intact, filling them up with aerosolized tanks and using them to spray. What an ingenious idea, right? It's also the military. It's also subcontractors. What we are seeing is not making sunsets. What we are seeing is not cloud seeding. Okay? This is stratospheric aerosol injection and marine cloud layer brightening. It is heavy metals. It is toxic. And they're doing it right in front of your eyes, using companies that you know and love and trust, which is how they do everything. Pfizer created the vaccine. They didn't actually create the vaccine, but they branded it so people would trust them and take it. You gotta use your brains. You can literally track them. Download Flight Radar and track these planes. They're flying out of 5 airports south of the border: Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and a few others. California, they're all flying out of San Jose. Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, Honolulu. If you follow them for a few months, you will see the patterns. But they're doing it right in front of your eyes with companies you know and love. That is how they operate. That's how they do this shit. That's how they discredit you when you're telling your uncle, oh yeah, it's Alaska. It's like, oh, this crazy kid thinks it's Alaska spraying us. Get it through your head, you guys. Wake up. Prosecute commercial airliners in 2026. That's the move to stop this shit. No.
No one has any clue what it is. I'm trying to make sense of it myself. Is that some sort of... That's not a foam finger that got caught up in the rainstorm, is it? Is that a balloon covered in dish soap? For those of you listening on the radio stream, I'd have to estimate it's about the length of one's leg. It touched down at about the first and second base split, halfway between the bags, and has now taken a course across the infield behind the mound over to third base side foul territory. It looks like a giant ice cube you might have pulled out of your fridge. Head groundskeeper Patrick Coakley, otherwise known as Irish, has come to scoop it up.
If you just run your hand across it too, you guys see all that reflective? Smell that? Just scraped the windshield of the car. This is what was just scraped from my windshield. You can see all the metallic in there. If you just run your hand across it too, you guys see all that reflective? Smell that?
We have lab tests from all over the globe, aluminum in all of them. In addition to barium, strontium, manganese, polymer fibers. The last 100 plus tests contained graphene. The tests contained surfactants, which we know.
Look, look, look. Oh, got one. Look. Again, that's not a hair. It is attached to my arm. Look at that shit. It's burrowed. Dude, that hurts. Shit, hold on. Oh, dude, stop. These are babies. Still, they are like steel. You cannot break this. This one is burrowing into my arm. I got it out, okay? But if you don't think they're real, I'm on my way right now to the ER. I have to get 4 of them removed.
In closing, I want to talk about dragons because I don't think I stressed that enough. And actually, since I made this video, I've learned even more information about dragons. And all I can say is this, that dragons, I 100% believe, either came through the abyss with Satan when he was loosed for a little season, or they were released by Satan and came from above, and maybe that's what the craters are. Now, we have a lot of movies. I just want to mention a few movies that kind of tell us the truth in plain sight. One is obviously Lord of the Rings. And what do we see happening in Lord of the Rings? We see dragons, right, flying over villages and breathing fire and destroying whole cities. And it just makes me wonder if that's what caused all the great fires at the beginning of Satan's little season. If it wasn't, some people said directed energy weapons. I'm thinking maybe it was dragon fire. And I know it might sound crazy, but when you just hear me out, I'm going to list some movies, and I'll if I remember, I'll put them in the description box. But one of them is called Dragon Storm, and one of them is called Dragon Wars. And shout out to Kyle for bringing that movie to my attention. Again, and the Reign of Fire movie, just like the zombie movies, right? They're just bombarding us with dragons, and I think there's a reason behind it. So I do believe that dragons came through the abyss or were summoned. I don't know specifically, but I do believe this world was plagued by dragons. They flew over all the major cities, and they just rained fire and destruction on the remnants of the millennial kingdom. Okay, so all these glorious divine buildings that were built by Jesus and the saints. I think the dragons just obliterated them. And now where they are, maybe they've gone into hiding, maybe they're underground. That's what volcanoes are. Not sure. I'm going to do more research on this, but my gut and my soul is telling me that that we're on the right track here. Okay, so again, thank you guys for supporting this channel. I am like just so amazed at how just intelligent, thoughtful, caring, just guided by the Holy Spirit that the viewers and the subscribers of this channel are. You are really like the most just amazing people that I've ever come across in my life. You guys actually, you know usually more about my videos than I do. It's so great to see the comments where either you've already heard of things that I've spoken about, or you add to what the information that I put out. So again, you guys are a blessing to everyone watching this. Thank you. Love you all. God bless you all, and good night.
I'll